3, and then dictate which percentage of those things, skills, knowledge, and desire, you're going to apply to that. And if you can't find those, then seek mentorship. So mentor can either guide you to that or guide you in that. And if you can't do that, then go to the stock market and find those types of companies, careers, industries, etc., that are aligned with synergistic or supplementary to your capabilities, whether you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, or even 90s. That's what I'm going to be doing in my 90s, just like Bob Procter will be. I guarantee it. Let's see what else is going on here. King J, what's going on? Malaysia's in the house. Joseph, my dear friend from Long Island, have you took this COVID-19 opportunity to make any new investments? In myself, right? The investments that I've made right now are in myself, and those investments in the brand, in my company, in my employees. So everything involved there, but no outside investments, because I don't think, and this is just my perception, I don't think there's anything I could buy today that won't be cheaper in the next 24 months as far as an investment goes. But that's just my perception. I'm sure there are plenty of things that are. I just don't want to waste my time. I'd rather invest in myself, in my team, in my employees, in my business. So that's what I am doing at this time. Everyone should do what they want to do according to their inventory of values, personal, experiential, giving and receiving. How did you develop phone speaking skills, i.e. calling, as you mentioned? Practice. One of the things I've used, reverse psychology, alter ego effect. When I say reverse psychology, I've actually cold called people and tried to get them off the phone. I wanted to teach myself. And the irony is that I did this as a training tool for my team when I ran a big sales force. And it was hilarious because the average time of people staying on the phone when people wanted to get them off was higher than when they wanted to keep them on. Imagine that. How can teenagers, especially in the puberty age, bolster and enhance their self-confidence and self-esteem? If I knew I'd be a billionaire. Why do I say that? Because everybody learns at their own pace. Add in testosterone or other things that occur during puberty, and we have a whole bunch of interference and corrosion. Remember, pain, mental, physical, spiritual, financial pain is an indicator that we have lessons to learn. I think through puberty, we have the most accelerated change and compressed uncertainty in our life, plus the emotional biochemical reactions that are going on. So what we as parents need to do, or friends or associates, is to focus in on the superpowers, on the positive things, and reinforce those so they feel confident. Remind them how special they are, right? You are kind, right? You are wonderful. All the key components of the light, the love, and the lessons that exist in them. Do not dwell on the change and uncertainty that's occurring in someone, no matter what age they are, but especially a teenager. Focus in on their superpowers. You'll never know. It's a seed that you're planting for a tree you may never sit under. That seed, you don't know when it will be watered, but the more positive seeds that you're planting in people, the more that you will get. Are you in the stock game? Let's see here. Are you in the stock game? What's reliable in your mind to invest in? Look, that's not for me to say, right? You have your own expertise, your own skills, knowledge, and desire. Go invest in what you want. For me, I don't have the time, emotion, or energy to invest in the stock market. I'm investing in myself. I would rather my money make no money, the money that I've made already, but no chance of losing it, and focus in on doubling the amount of money I make every day to put into somewhere that doesn't make any money. That's what I do. That's why I partnered with Marshall Falk and created, and invested in just secure, guaranteed investments that I don't pay attention to. When the stock market dropped, I didn't care. When it went back up, I didn't care. I cared for my friends, but for my own investments, I did not care. Let's get on to some of these questions here. Best advice for someone starting an internship. Go in with a learning attitude, right? Go in to try to scale, which we'll talk about tomorrow at training at 11 a.m. Just text me at 949-298-2905 or email me, david@dmeltzer.com. There's free registration. Just come. But scale. What does that mean? Watch and shadow the people that you want to be like, the people that sit in the situation you want at the internship, and then work with them side by side, and then allow them to watch you and give you feedback. And then guess what? You can go mentor somebody and do the same exact process of scaling. And we're going to go into deep scaling of person and places and things and business and money. I'm ready to make some money. Show me the money. What's step number one, Dave? Step number one is imagine, right? So make it a possibility. When we look at making money, we have to go ahead and connect the dots backwards and see what skills, knowledge, and desire we have. Align those synergistically and supplementary to how we're going to make that money. Are we going to work for somebody else, save, grow, etc.? Are we going to create our own business? There's so many different things to do, but you have to take inventory of your value and your capabilities and then effectuate on those by aligning them. Hopefully that helps you there, Kate. How can we book you to speak at sales conference? Brian, reach out to Jake at dmeltzer.com. Copy me in, David at dmeltzer.com. And Jake, if you can make sure you reach out to Brian, DM him as well. Brian_Carrington. I love to speak. Sales speeches are my favorite. Love it, love it. Katie Kitchens is here. And amazing combination of fitness and kitchen. And let's welcome, Katie. Thank you very much. Let's see what's going on here. Hi.
How's it going?
Terrific. How are you?
Good. I like looking at my giant face early in the morning. This is awesome.
Oh my God, mine's sunburned and dry, but I love your beautiful kitchen behind you. You could just a clean kitchen when you see one.
Thank you. Well, when it's all white, it sort of has to be. But I will say the fun part about social distancing has been getting a peek into people's homes, which I find really cool and fun and interesting.
How do you like my closet? Nice?
I like it. I like all the baseballs. My husband is a crazy baseball fanatic.
What team does he like?
The Braves.
Of course.
All the time.
Well, give us some of the good nutrition and fitness tips that you've learned during this time.
Well, I think for me, I have found more time for self-care during quarantine. The reality is in Los Angeles, I am gaining literally 2 hours of time because I'm not commuting to the office every day. Also I have a 4 and a 7-year-old at home. And it's been really interesting trying to sort of balance homeschooling with, also just making sure that the business stays, safe and successful. But still, I found that I've allowed myself a little bit more me time because I do have the kids, so much. So one of the things that I've been doing quite a bit of is all of my Zoom calls are now walks around the block. I literally look like a maniac, but the truth of it is, if I go into a room and close the door, those kids are opening up the door. They love to make a Zoom appearance. So one, just getting out in the fresh air, getting that vitamin D, and taking, I'm probably walking anywhere between 5 to 10 miles a day, given the number of calls that I have. One of the things that I was also really excited about with FabFitFun is we have a platform called FabFitFun TV, which has, hundreds and hundreds of workouts on demand, dance, fitness, yoga, HIIT, sort of everything in between. And normally it's for members only, but, during this time we did open up the platform so it is accessible to all. So also been doing lots of workouts on the TV. We moved in the end of last year, so we actually don't have family room furniture yet. So it is a prime space for getting your fitness on.
Yeah, that's lucky. Now, as far as the kids go, are you allowing them as well to participate with you? I know they love to make the Zoom appearance like mine as well, or even worse for me. My kids are tiny, not in age, but tiny in size because my wife's tiny. But I swear when they walk by my closet, they sound like an elephant.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
they wait until I'm on a Zoom or speaking or a mastermind in order to walk by. Are you allowing them though to participate in any of this stuff and learn kind of firsthand what you do and have fun with it?
I mean, they've always been pretty involved. They're almost like the Fun mascots, if you will. I mean, they truly believe they run the company. They, my older daughter, would come to work with me when she was a baby several times a week because that was just sort of the way to do it. So she really does feel like she owns the place. Normally when we're in the office, they'll go into the snack room, they'll get some goldfish, get some crackers, and then they'll just walk around the office distributing it because that's sort of the role apparently that they play. But I do think it's been interesting to give them an insight into how much I work more so than anything else. I think when mommy leaves, they don't totally understand what I'm doing, and they are still on the younger side, being 4 and 7. But they do also walk around telling people that mommy's the boss, so I'll take it.
Yeah, and I love that. It's two things are interesting. So I have a 10-year-old and then three older daughters, 21, 19, and 16. And my 19-year-old's interning for me now. And she was the same way when she was 7. Just wait till she's 19.
I can't. I'm not. She's 7 going on, 18 already. I'm not prepared.
Yeah, you're
Kind
not.
of a tough
I'm
year
not prepared.
with
Please help me.
younger.
But they love the fat bit themselves as well. But another interesting thing about my 10-year-old is I'm working in a closet a lot of the times. I'm thinking about expanding a business after this and selling closets that are a combination of studio, workout facility, sitting room, office, of course, closet. But I do all of that in here. I'm doing the Kenzai 30-day challenge in here. So I have bands and sit-ups and push-ups and literally running in space. And then I put the lights up and I'm on this with you. If I could get a shower in here, it'd be perfect. Anyway, he literally said the other night, he goes, well, all you do, Dad, is spend time in your closet. I was like,
Well, yeah, kind of true because I'm getting stuff done. But it's funny. I love a multi-use anything, whether it's a product that we put in the box or a function of a space in our home. I mean, I think the more that we can get out of anything, all the better.
yeah, absolutely. Now, what lesson, I mean, being someone in your space, right? There's great challenges for so many people. I always joke around that either people like us are going to come out of this in way better shape than we went into it, or they're going to have the quarantine 15 because they're sitting around eating processed food and watching, Tiger King. What are the best lessons that you've learned during this time? Because there's no doubt someone like you that's so active, just having that extra 2 hours being at home more and having the pause has brought some awareness to how you're going to live your life in a better and more productive manner.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, look, I think that idea of allowing yourself self-care is really important. Because I do work so much, oftentimes I have some serious mom guilt that, my life for, really the past 7 years has been divided either in taking care of work or taking care of the kids. And that has been a choice. No one made me do it. No one told me to do it. That was, the way that I felt comfortable balancing my responsibilities. I think that I found, in the past couple of months, is getting that hour for yourself is so important. It makes me a better worker. It makes me a better mom. I can tell that I'm getting angry less. I feel more sane. My anxiety has gone down. I'm taking better care of my skin. I mean, God knows, when I'm in the office all day, I try various products to make sure that we are picking the best things every season. But now I'm actually using them on myself within a daily ritual. And it feels really good. I'm getting older. I'm 41 years old. So, making sure that you're taking those moments and how we incorporate them, after, we are going back into an office, after it's not, sort of this unknown time, I'm going to really own that and make sure that I move forward with it. I also think, what we found as a company is that, working from home can be incredibly beneficial. We've seen for a really large percentage of the company that productivity is actually going up, partially because, they are not needing their commute. They're also not getting interrupted as much. I know sometimes my role at the office is, really just to answer questions. And I spend my day doing that, going in and out of meetings. And when I've been home, I found that I've been really able to prioritize different pieces of the business that might otherwise get ignored because so much time is just spent talking. And I think what everybody has realized is that not everything has to be a meeting all of the time, right? We are able to communicate in other ways. We are able to continue to move the business forward, with a Slack or an email. And this is just big time savers in my mind.
Yeah, so not even the big companies that I work with, the ones that I always joked around, I'm like, how can you guys have meetings about meetings? Like they literally would have meetings about a meeting they're going to have. And I literally was like this, please, you have hired me to help you with efficiency and productivity. Can we not have a meeting about a meeting for a starting point?
No, and I think we've certainly been guilty of that. And I think we are learning ways that we can be more efficient and effective. And also just, there's no choice right now other than to trust your team entirely, right? Trust them to do what they're supposed to be doing while they're at home. And what we've seen is everybody is not just rising, but really soaring to the occasion and, finding a tremendous amount of value in being able to really own their work-life balance in a way that, we don't always get to do when we're forced to be in an office for a certain number of hours during the week.
Now, my family, I'm having 3 daughters and my wife, the seasonal boxes you do, they want to know how you choose the products.
Great
for your
question.
For your seasonal boxes.
And look, it's actually changed. So, my background is in content. I was a writer for about 10 years before starting FabFitFun with my co-founders, Michael and Daniel Bukim. And, when we launched the box, it was really a lot of gut, quite frankly. It was myself, Mike, and Dan really just picking products that we really loved and hoped that, members would love as well. And, I had spent a lot of time writing about beauty and fashion and fitness and sort of telling our readers, what they should be buying. And so it was a really natural next step to not just tell them, but actually give it to them. I think we've evolved the model quite a bit because as we've grown, we started with, a membership that probably looked a lot like me in age and personality. But now that we have well over 1 million members, the audience is just much more diverse. And what we know is that, a 17-year-old in San Diego probably doesn't want the same product as a 65-year-old in Kansas City. And we have both of those women in our membership. So, we address that in a couple of different ways. We use a ton of consumer insights. We're constantly surveying our members about what products they want, what brands they love, and what trends they're excited by. And that data really drives the merch team to go out and find really unique, cool, innovative products. So we have, Q scores for every brand before it goes into the box. We have a forecasted rating for everything. And, one of the things that we look at now is also a much more customized experience. So in the early days, I picked 8 products that would go out to everyone. Now there's about 40 different products each season, and members can actually customize their box to make sure that we're not only getting great products, but we are getting the right products for you. And so when we're putting together choices, we look at things like dislike overlap. So, if you're choosing, let's say, between an electric diffuser, an oversized scarf, or a eyeshadow palette, we know that at least one of those choices is going to satisfy all of the members in our membership.
All right, last question. Just looking at our faces side by side here, you look so young and refreshed, and I look so old and tired. What face product should I be using to look like you? I'm 52, so I have a little bit of a reason why I look older.
I don't think that's true, but I will say I do love products. And I think the one that nobody should ever live without is an SPF. It should be the first thing that you put on every morning. Put it on if it's sunny, if it's cloudy. It doesn't matter when it comes to wrinkle prevention, anti-aging, that is going to be your number one. In this summer's box, we have an amazing SPF from Kula. It's a brand that we love. We also are about to launch what I think is a very cute sale tomorrow, which is called the World of Kate. And it's featuring great products from both Kate Spade and Kate Somerville. And so when it comes to skincare, I mean, Kate Somerville is one of the best of the best. And just looking at your ingredients when you're choosing your products, right? So retinol, peptides, these are things that are really going to make a difference very fast.
Well, next time you see me, I'm going to look younger. I will tell you that the Surgeon General, I was blessed to meet with him, and I asked him the 3 things we should be most concerned about for our children. And he said smoking, making sure people don't smoke or vape or whatever.
Smoking these days, my God.
Yeah, vaping is more likely, right? And then 2, he said obesity, and then 3 was skincare. So those were the top 3 things from our Surgeon General that we should be concerned about, especially for our children. So you are right on top of 2 of those. Obviously, the first one to me is common sense, but there's still an extraordinary amount of kids vaping. So if you're listening to me, don't vape.
Not a good look, guys. I promise
No.
you'll look back and be embarrassed. Everyone is.
Thank you for your great advice. I look forward to talking to you soon. Stay happy and healthy as you are. You look beautiful. Yellow's definitely your color. I agree with everyone on there. Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
Bye, Katie. What a wonderful woman. Unbelievable business. They're killing it. The FabFit joined their seasonal box. Great company. Thank you so much, Katie. All right, let's take a few more questions. Hello from Dubai, one of my favorite places. I had a few speaking engagements in Dubai, spent Christmas there with my entire family, went skiing, we went to the beach, we went ATVing. There's so much to do in Dubai, and if probably the world's greatest shopping and eating as well. How do you recommend someone double their money every day? Well, first of all, you got to learn how to double your money and then speed up the process, right? So things are incremental and exponentially grow. So you got to get to the point where you can double it, and then you have a segment. So if you can double within a year, then we try to double it within 11 months. The next time, 10 months, 9 months, etc., all the way down to every day. Some people can do it every minute. Who knows? But doubling is a great thing. Go ahead, take a penny and double it 20 times. You'll get there where you want to be. Most people don't have the patience. They don't have the enjoyment or perspective of the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of their potential. And I am a big fan of the doubling methodology. I do not attach my emotions to an outcome. I don't put limitations on myself and say I want to make $1 million by March. I want to double the amount of money I'll make as fast as I can. That's exactly. Teddy, how do you double $5,000? Apply your skills, knowledge, and desire to that $5,000 and find what best suits you and your capabilities in order to effectuate that. Ask for help. Make sure you find an expert in the industry that you want, someone that sits in the situation that you want to be in, and you'll be able to get there a lot faster with a lot more statistical success. How to become the super entrepreneur, practice and ask for help, very much so. Let's get another question in here. I did see Trevor Moad, by the way. I want to always say hi to him. I went to the Great Occidental College, and he is an amazing mindset person, amazing person in general, and a philanthropist, and just a good guy. So if you haven't checked out Trevor Moad, go ahead, check him out. I didn't snooze my alarm today thanks to your video yesterday. All right. We got routines and adaptable routines. Yeah, Jake, give my boy Trevor a big shout out. He is an amazing guy, and I wish I was out of this so I could go see him up in Los Angeles. What would you do if you were 20 years old? Oh, I would force myself to put radical humility all around me. I would teach myself to take inventory of my values and to ask and attract, to ask more people how I can be of service of value using open-ended questions and then leading them with closed-ended questions to how I could be of service or value. And more importantly, I would effectuate radical humility as a young 20-year-old, asking as many people as I can, knowing that I'd make them feel good by saying, hey, do you know anyone that can help me with blank? And if I would have done that, I could have accelerated everything that I had done in my career. So yes, radical humility. What have you found to work best for you? And when scheduling your time and calendar, writing it down. Uh, yeah. So I'm a student of my calendar. So I don't just write things down in my calendar. I always put them in my calendar, prioritize them by what's most important, but I study them. I pay attention to them. I give intention to them. I'm thinking about what do I think, say, do, believe. How are my unconscious competencies, my quantum memories applicable to what I'm doing? That means my personality traits, how it's going to affect what I do, my characteristics, my obsessions and addictions, all within the context of that, using a lens. I'm like, how productive that lens of productivity. That means what am I doing to create value out of this situation? To accessibility, how accessible am I to others during this time frame, and how can I make it more efficient to be accessible to more people? And how am I accessing what I want? I'm actually asking myself, what do I want from this? What's my objective of doing this? And then, of course, the lens of gratitude, the lens of light, love, and lessons. What am I supposed to learn from this? How can I find the superpower in this situation? How can I make this situation better, or allow this to better my situation? And I also included in all of that is processes, right? How can I create a process that's more efficient, effective, and statistically successful? You got to be a student of your calendar. Give it a minimum of 10 minutes a day, at least once a day. I promise you, it's not easy to do. It's probably the most difficult and most advantageous thing that I do. It's also the most difficult and advantageous thing that my team does. And we're all practicing. It's progress, not perfection. I've never been a perfect student of my calendar, but I am progressing, and it has exponential results. In fact, if someone asks me how you can double that $5,000, be a student of your calendar. I think that's one of the key components, ingredients, a little bit of the ingredients of the mercury of how you feel, the thermostat of your life. How can you get themselves out of a rut mentally? First of all, if you're in a rut, that's not a bad thing. Right? Can't be in a rut unless you're doing things consistently. You can't be in a rut unless you're trying to expand, accelerate, and grow. Just because your senses and your memory may not be capable of understanding the incremental growth that you experience doesn't mean that being in a rut is bad. You are almost there. So don't quit. That was my training last week about being stuck or in a rut, understanding that it's actually a process that you're going through, and that if you don't feel like you're stuck or you don't feel the acceleration and growth, then you ain't trying, right? And then you are a why me person, not a try me person. So go ahead, get stuck getting stuck. Trust the process. Allow the incremental growth and acceleration to avail itself to you once the increments get big enough for your senses to determine, your memory to see and remember. So there we go. I think I see someone, Peter. Welcome, the CEO of Life Brands. Got to join here. Peter is here. Let's see. Unbelievable. I think this guy's in like 62 countries. There
Hey,
he is.
what is going on? Hey, that was good stuff, David.
You know what? I'm like an entrepreneurial rapper. Have you noticed? I just kind of like flow.
Well, it was and it was really good flow, right? It was. I hated to even send the request. I was listening to it. I was very intent.
Hey, cool. Well, I love that flag. I love that flag behind you. Where'd you get that?
You know what? I bought it at the art festival in Miami.
Oh, right on.
Yeah,
At the Art Basel or Basel or
yeah,
whatever they
yeah,
call it.
yeah. Basel.
I
Yeah,
love it. Yeah,
isn't it cool?
it's
Right?
so cool.
I,
It
I, I tell you, I'll show you another one that I bought at the Basel. Since we're talking art,
right
this
on.
one is. So this is a beast behind me. So that thing's it's deceptive, but it's like literally like 6 feet by 10 feet. So
Wow. I kind of
yeah,
look like that image, by the way. If you notice the features, I have the same lips and nose as that image.
on a long night of tequila, you look like that picture.
Yeah, I know you're gonna be like, shit, he ruined the picture for me. Oh my god, I see Dave Meltzer in there.
I look at it now. I see your mug.
I'm gonna sober you up. You're never gonna drink again. It'll be perfect.
That's funny. That's
Well,
funny.
anyway, obviously you are a seasoned vet with businesses all over the world. You have a more worldly perspective of entrepreneurship. I'd love to see what your opinion is of the world aspect of what's going on with this pause, not just the United States aspect.
Yeah, of the word as it relates to COVID-19.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know what? It's a tough place, and unfortunately, really, no one saw it coming. And I know I'm just speaking specifically with my brands. My heart goes out for these franchisees. They put it on the line. They became entrepreneurs. They started their business. They were doing great. And then COVID came along, and the government says, look, you need to shut your business. And literally it was like turning off a water spigot. They went from making great money to having zero revenue. And that's an unprecedented moment for a lot of people, and they never planned for it. And that's why I talk about, you know what, at times of trial, like what we're experiencing right now, these are the times that we're all tested. And if you're carrying a lot of debt, you're really beholden to the banks willing to participate and give you some relief, buy you some time. You're hoping that when you open your doors back up, that people come back. I think people are going to be a little bit resistant to coming back if you're in a group fitness or type application where group fitness functional training, where you might have 30, 40 people in a small space, like an Orange Theory, Barry's Boot Camp, that type of product. I think people are going to look for something where it's a little bit more, the social distancing can still be a component. And then the new normal is going to be, you got to be really, really intentional with your hygiene and letting people know you're disinfecting things. And even though today, as we look at COVID-19, it's not what we thought it was early on. We thought early on it was a death sentence, and now we realize, I mean, the state of Minnesota, just using that as an example, we've had about 22,000 cases here. Of the 22,000 cases, 2,500 of them were hospitalized. Of that, 879 people passed away. That's really sad, and my heart goes out to those people. But the rest of the narrative is, of those 879, 709 of them were in assisted living or nursing homes. So you have to understand that really the elderly have a higher probability, and they have to take really significant precautions. But if you're fit and eating right and reasonably healthy with no pre-existing respiratory issues, you got a really good chance, 99% chance of full recovery.
You know what's interesting is the testing side, because here in California, testing is more prevalent now, so there's more cases, but less hospitalizations as well. And I believe, like, if they could have tested everyone in America, the numbers would have terrified everybody in the world. Like,
Right.
literally.
I think,
And I just say that I look at the two things, the deaths and who's dying, right? Comparatively, when there's a flu, more old people and people at risk die, but also how filled our hospitals are, because that becomes an issue for everyone. If you get into a car accident or have a heart attack and you can't go to the hospital, there's a real issue, a
no
social
question.
issue.
Yeah.
But looking at the aspect of your businesses, over 60 countries, thousands of franchises in different spaces, I don't think people in America, how are the franchisees affected? Because we give a lot of support. At least my friends who own franchises are getting economic support. In fact, some of the hardest things is getting their employees to come back, because the employees got so much support, and they're young, right? They're young and they want to make the extra $600.
Right.
It's weird,
Exactly
but
right.
I'm curious internationally. Like, are the franchisees getting support internationally?
They are not quite at the level that we've seen in the PPP program here in the United States. So they are getting some relief. Most of the relief is coming from landlords willing to participate in this downturn. Everybody understands it. I mean, no one is safe. As soon as the doors were closed and your revenue was shut off, you immediately made a call to your banker. You immediately made a call to your landlord and said, look, here's what I'm dealing with right now. And those types of calls, bankers received 1,000 of those calls. So they expected that. And fortunately, they were willing to work with them. There are areas, countries where they did participate in some of these things that were grants. So, non-repayable loans, if you will, which is wonderful. But that's not going to get you to the promised land long term, right? I mean, eventually you got to open the doors again, number one. And number two, the general public has got to get back out. You got to support those local businesses. I just dropped a post the other day, David, just telling people, hey, look, you know what? When our economy gets back opened up, I ask people, put Amazon on the shelf for a few months, go out to the brick and mortar, go to the restaurants. I mean, it's a pivotal moment in this country. Everybody's got to kind of man up and own it.
I agree. I think it's really important, one, that we go out and shop. We got to get the money moving again.
Right.
And also, I tell people, if you can afford it, and I see things as a third of the people are doing better, a third of the people are doing the same, and a third of the people got crushed. I know those percentages may be off, but there
Yeah.
are a percentage of all three. If you're in the percentage that can afford it, tip big. Like,
Right.
put money in people's pockets that are working, right?
Yeah.
Because they'll
100%.
go spend that money as well. Let's get the money moving. Let's get, we have plenty of, we're lucky this didn't happen in 2009 when people were hurting. We had the strongest economy maybe in history, 13 years of growth.
Yeah.
So we're lucky that's when this happened. Let's get the money moving fast. It'll change the economy in the whole world. And especially, with the people that work for those businesses, they're going to benefit. Their families are going to be fed. Our education system will be back up and running. All the trickle down will happen. I agree with you completely. Last thing, real quick, because you have managed so many businesses, what's the best piece of advice for a small business owner to get people to come back out? Where's that learning curve and messaging going?
Well, I think to get people post COVID-19, I'm in the health and wellness space, right? For the most part. So if you're in that space, you've got to be really intentional with your cleaning, because the one thing that's going to scare people away is if, when they walk into your facility, if they feel like you're not completely on top of the disinfecting component. There are a lot of people out there that still feel that the COVID-19 is a death sentence, right? And the only way that those people are going to come out from under their desk and get out into the public and start contributing is to feel this level of safety. And you know what? If you want to exercise with a mask on and with rubber gloves, by all means, go do it. Do whatever you need to do to make yourself feel good. But the reality of it is, at the club level, at the employee level, they got to be demonstrating a very excellent hygiene, wiping equipment down on a regular basis, and then the social distancing component, which is really easy to do in our gyms.
Yeah, I think the education of getting your own patrons to wipe down after themselves, right? And I think the
And,
the
yeah.
security of training the people that come in your restaurants and your fitness centers, all the places that, hey, we have self responsibility, will make people feel more comfortable.
Yeah, there's a level of accountability we all have to own. I mean, we can't look at a certain cross section of the population that's going to save the day for us. Everybody's got to pull deep on the oars in today's day and age to get this economy really moving forward.
Yeah, it's incredible. Well, I certainly appreciate you coming on and helping everybody. Any last words or advice you can give?
No, you know what? It's a great day, right? I mean, we're all blessed to live in such an amazing country. And you know what? I will tell you this. Everyone that I know that has experienced any level of success, all of the growth, all of the character building moments have come through times of adversity. We will get through this. Have confidence in yourself and your abilities, and just never quit.
You nailed it. Never quit. They're only tough people, not tough times. So I know you're one of those people, and I can't wait to see what happens to all of those thousands of stores that you have. I'm sure they're going to be fine. Thanks for coming on, Peter.
Hey, my pleasure. Thanks for having me. Take care.
We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Sorry
Ciao.
for ruining your art, by the way. Take care. What a great entrepreneur. You got to check out Life Brands, because I think this will be a case study on how perspective and processes can create and stabilize, one of the hardest hit industries, in the way that we look at the perspective of people and how they interact, how they're going to react and reinvigorate our economy through putting the money into the flow. I think that was one of the biggest takeaways that Peter reminded me of is, we got to get the money moving, right? Go ahead, put Amazon on the shelf if you can, and let's go back out. Enjoy the people that are working, enjoy touching and feeling things. You'll have a lot less returns. I know that. I've dealt with more returns, I think, in the last 10 weeks than I'd prefer to deal with. And you also get your products faster when you go out and get them yourselves. I know you got a whole bunch of different deliveries, but don't be afraid to go out yourself and get what you want and pick it out and touch it and feel it, and be safe. Wear a mask, wear gloves, whatever you want to do. But I agree. We got to get this economy moving. We got to spend money. We got to tip big, and make sure that we're supporting each other. We got great businesses and great products, great services, and great people in this country. Let's put them all back into productivity. It'd be great. Let me take one more question. Don't forget tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific, training on scaling your business, scaling your life. That means growing, doubling, accelerating, all the great things. Just got into Forex and about to pop off a call. How can I maintain all the people that are joining under me? Provide value and service to them, right? You are working for them. People will work with you if you provide value and service. And if they don't, you're better off, right? You can only do and align with your values, and don't expect everyone at the age they're at the experience, situation, knowledge, to know what you know or care like you care or be engaged like you're engaged. But, if they're not aligned with your values, dump them. It's that easy for you. Welcome, India, Samir. Welcome. Provide value and service. Be of service to them. Thank you. Great. Remember, tomorrow, text me 949-298-290-2905 if you have not registered for the free training, or email me at david@dmeltzer.com. I'm here to be of service and to help you. Of course, we live by the attitude of gratitude. Gratitude is the perception, the lens of light, love, and lessons that we have. We'll take another question here as we're getting through this. Do you have a morning routine that includes gratitude, and what does it include? Yes, absolutely. And a night routine as well. The best way to change your life is to say thank you when you wake up. Simple 0.1 seconds. Say thank you when you wake up, and say thank you when you go to bed. It's the greatest practice, the easiest practice, the cheapest practice. It costs nothing, but it will change everything in your life. It'll allow pain to be an indicator. All it is a turn signal changing you in a direction that makes things better or betters your situation. It's an indicator of pain that allows you, when you're in a gracious state, that to learn a lesson, physical, mental, spiritual, emotional lesson, and financial lesson. Gratitude is the most powerful thing. It makes your past unbelievable, your present better than that, and your future even brighter than that. If you take 0.1 seconds to say thank you when you wake up, 0.1 seconds to say thank you before you go to bed, I promise you, if you can do that within 30 days, every single day, and it took me 9 months to do it for 30 straight days, I promise you, quantitatively, your life will change. Here's the saddest thing I know about gratitude, though, is that as simple as that sound, and as proven as it is, because I have studied physics, quantum physics, metaphysics, I've surrounded myself with the world thought leaders, people like Jack Canfield and Bob Procter and Deepak Chopra and Blaine Bartlett and a variety of other people that you all know, Les Brown and Mary Morrissey, and the list goes on and on, Sharon Lecter, all the greats, they all agree gratitude is the most powerful thing. It does wonders as a practice and a discipline and a habit. But the saddest thing about gratitude that I know, why did it take me 9 months to say it every single day for 30 straight days? Well, because by tonight, the greatest advice that I've given anybody, half of you won't say thank you. And by the next morning, another half of you won't say thank you. And within 3 days, as Evan Carmichael knows and talks about in this book right here, Built to Serve, almost all of us won't say thank you. So we're going to leave you with a grateful thought. Change your life. Change your mindset. Say thank you before you go to bed, and thank you when you wake up. 0.1 seconds. It's for free. It's free like my training tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Just go ahead, reach out to me if you want to remind me every day you're saying thank you. I know Austin, every single day I get a thumbs up in the morning and at night. He's done it 200 and some days in a row. My man, just changing his life. You can go ahead and reach out to him. Text me at 949-298-2905. Email me at david@dmeltzer.com. I myself am grateful. It took me 0.1 seconds to say that. I'm going to change my life and yours. Let's empower others to be happy and grateful. Thank you, everyone. Be kind to your future self. Do good deeds. See you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. We have a training on scaling your business, scaling your life. Looking forward to it.